welcome to That's So Nova. My name is Nova. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is a return subscriber, hi, thank you for coming by. My name is Nova, and this is my channel where I like to make crafty sewing, all kinds of things. Today we're going to be making a backpack, convertible backpack, that is tried and true to my heart. It's the Amber backpack from Georgia Girl Stitch. This backpack does extremely well for me when I'm at craft shows, cons, bazaars, Christmas festivals, markets, you name it, people like it. The reason why people like it is it's a small, medium size backpack that comes with a lot of bang for your buck, and you can make it in any kind of combination you want, whether you're making it with leather, cork, vinyl, craft tex, or if you want to make it in cotton, canvas, duck cloth, water resistant canvas, you can. There's a lot of things you can do for this bag, and it's pretty amazing. If you're trying to get into the world of leather and you're like, hey, I have a domestic machine, this might actually be the perfect bag for you. Because a lot of the leather, there's very few leather pieces that we have to sew over, and Joy does sell leather that is domestic machine friendly. Today I'm going to be using my Juki 5550N. If you're not familiar with that machine, it is an industrial machine, but it's usually an industrial machine in clothing factory because it sews fast without a motor, but it's equivalent to the Juki TL 2200. The only thing that's different is that I have a smaller throat space than them, and two, my motor's on the outside of my machine instead of inside. We were able to modify my machine a little bit. I do have the light feed dogs that originally came with the machine, but Steve at Sewing Gold and me played around with heavy feed dogs, and it's been my bread and butter. I use this machine an awful lot. I sell cork, leather, and loads of other things on it. And today you're going to see me make leather. So leather, and you're also going to see me break 2 needles. Heads up on that. We're human. We make mistakes. I am far from perfect, and I will never claim that I am. I used the first 2 times I used an Oregon needle at 116, and I don't know if it was because I was pulling the threads too taut that it broke off or bent. But once I changed over to a 116 needle from Schmidt's, it was good to go. I'm using 40 weight thread. I don't know where I got this thread, to be honest with you. I have a love-hate for it. I think I got it I'm going to not lie and think that I got it from eBay. Sometimes I just like see stuff and I'll buy it for experimental purposes, but you know, you live and you learn. We're going to be making this beautiful amber bag. This amber bag we're doing everything per pattern except the zipper pocket. Joy gave me in my package a zipper facing and credit card slots, and I decided I wanted to add this to this bag, so when I put this bag up for sale, it has a little bit more features to it. So I'm using a canvas, and I lined it with Decaville Light, and I'm using the wax canvas that came with the kit. I'm using the brown tanned handles that came with the kit, and as you can see, it's also the accent features. We also used a little bit of leather on the back, and it is thick. You're going to hear my machine sound weird. It's okay. It's not accommodated. It's not used to doing it. You can stitch through this. I even stitched this on my Bernina 1008 a few months ago, and her leather really is domestic friendly. That machine just was like, okay, just increase the stitch length, and it came out beautiful. We used green stitching for the accent features, and we also are using a metal zipper. If you've been wanting to use metal zippers, been kind of intimidated, this is a perfect bag to try it on. She gives you all the measurements. We are going to learn how to put in rivets using washers to help pull, so that way if you're pulling on your bag, the rivet won't pull through because it has a leather washer. You know, you hear me talking about washers all the time. It helps tremendously. I'm using a white interfacing from a white waterproof canvas in the inside because I would like, if someone would say put their tablet or whatever in here, that'll be water resistant. And we have the slip pocket that normally comes with the bag with the trim, leather trim. And then again, she had this beautiful long unusual zipper placket, and I used a number size 3 zipper that you would buy for a dress. on that. I had an extra one that was olive green, and I was like, let me use it because it's just sitting there collecting dust. And we will go through all the tips and tricks. We have our adjustable strap that turns into a backpack, or you can clip it to the sides and now it becomes a crossbody. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so today we're going to start doing a really exciting bag. A bag that personally is one of my top sellers at conventions, bazaars, Christmas festivals, farmers markets, you name it. People like the bag because not only is it a backpack, but I could turn into a convertible or crossbody strap. The back is universal, so it could be have masculine notes or feminine notes or no notes at side, just like strict leather. When the pattern first came out, I made it with cotton and leather. There's so many combinations. Today we're going to do the exterior top is going to be a canvas with Decaville light on the bottom because it's cotton. And I'm going to use wax canvas on the bottom of the bag. The pocket will have leather, and there's going to be accent features that have the leather. And what I like about this is that if you're going new into leather making and you're afraid that your domestic machine can't handle it, Joy really has created a product where you can play around with domestic leather. She has a wide variety on her shop. You can buy a scrap pack just to test it out. So I bought her kit, and if you've seen my live a couple days ago, I opened it. It was beautiful. I'm using everything that's in the kit. And I want to start with some basics before we jump into the pattern. First, have your water and get ready to cut. This bag comes together fairly easily. There's not a lot of components. We are going to be doing something a little bit extra today because Joy has this really cool new feature where you can have your zipper pocket right here. Like you go over the zipper like we normally do on any other bag, but it has this beautiful green leather. And let me see where the other piece is. You can buy it pre-made, or you can get the free pattern for credit card slots. So we're going to sew down these credit card slots and put this as our zipper placket. And I'm really excited because it's not your everyday square or like diamond or rectangle plackets, because don't get me wrong, you see me put zipper plackets on a million things, but the fact that it looks like this gives it a couple more possibilities. Maybe adding your name tag, which I do have. Maybe adding, hold on, let me show you. I have a couple different name tags. Most of the name tags I get are from Dutch Label. But I have this thing Lauren offers like a custom name tag for your business, or just because you want custom name tags. And I seriously want to do that. So hopefully in the beginning of the year. But look, I could put my little name tag here. So when someone opens it up, they see it. I might do that. So I might keep this with it and just tack it on. Okay. So in the pack, you just got the label. You just got the pattern and you're like, hey, I'm going to source all the materials myself. That's really good to do too. There's a lot of different sources out there, but to be quite honest, because I'm really new with leather, because I've made more than 10 or 15 leather bags, maybe 20. So I'm a beginner in all sense of the way. Joy has made endless amount, and she's very, very kind and is open to giving you information. So in the beginning, we're going to have a front handle. We have two front handles. One, we're going to punch holes where they asked us to, and we're not going to punch holes in the second one. The second one goes on the back. Then third, we're going to have two side connectors and two back strap connectors. Now, the way you do it is you follow the measurements. For the handle, you have to measure in, this handle's 1 inch. So you need a 1/2 inch punch and a 1 inch punch before you round them. So when you cut your leather, it's all rectangles. Same thing on this side. What I did then is I grabbed my 1 inch craft tool and I placed it over, making sure everything lined up. And then I hit it with the mallet. Now what you see right below this is a cutting board. I could not do it on this table. The table is not, it's gonna make the vibrations even more and maybe have an uneven cut. The way I usually cut is I have this board, a rubber mat underneath it. Well, no, I take that back. I have this board, a metal plate, the rubber mat, and I go on my concrete floor. Because then the vibrations, there's not vibrations and the less chance of it messing up. And I hit until it kind of sticks into the board to make sure I cut through the first right away. But first you need to punch the holes where she advised you. I believe these are 1/4 of an inch in, and same with these. Then you could take, this is a 1-inch one. For my smaller one, I use a 3/4 of an inch. You could purchase these numerous places. You can go to your local craft shop. You can go to your local hardware suppliers and leather works. Like you can go to Tandy Leather. You can get them on Amazon, but hear me out on this. I'm an Amazon lover more than anything else, but sometimes you can get a lot of wonks on Amazon. I bought these 2 tools from Clume House, and that's another person that likes to work a lot with wax canvas and leathers. And she had these amazing tools. These tools, they may look like they're light in my hand. They seriously have some weight. I think they may be 1 pound in my hand. This mallet, I have a couple. I have one named Milner because it's my Thor hammer, and it's upstairs because I was doing another project. This one I got from Cereal Bag Maker. If you go into her website, she's in Belgium. She has a boatload of not even dye. She has dyes and a lot of stuff for leather making. Now, I mention this a lot in a lot of strap when I'm making things, is like keep your straps, keep your extra leather, because you can make leather washers. You're going to see washers throughout this video that Joy was really sweet and kind enough to make for me to add into the kit. And that's just the kind of like person she is. I said this in the video, this is like a 3/8 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch, and then they do a hole in the middle. I have one to show you where you can make it, and I got this literally at Home Depot for $2. And as you can see, the paper cutout, they're the same size. You take this and you pop until, again, my best advice is until you feel it stick against the cutting board, and you have washers. I use washers in all my bags. The reason why I don't have a lot of issues with rivets and clients don't come back and be like, oh, your rivet popped out, is the washer on the back literally saves your life. I know sometimes you guys may be watching my videos and you're like, what the heck is she talking about a washer? It's inevitably what a lot of bag makers are doing now, telling you to put a piece of Decovil or a piece of Peltex in the back. Washers do that. So if you have a thick piece of leather or vinyl, you can create little washers. I have a cup that I keep similar to this that are filled with washers that are at my stations. It's one way to utilize scraps. It's another way to make your bag more structurally sound. So I'm going to put these away and we're going to get into this. I just wanted to address that before we get into it. Put these leather straps over here. Just bear with me for a second. Yeah, I got this. I think I got this at Home Depot for like $2, and it's really heavy as well. You can get 1/2 inch. You can get a lot of different assortments, and they help out tremendously. Hopefully you don't roll. Okay, so on page 3, we see the anatomy of the bag. And again, I find that bag makers who do this, I absolutely adore, because it helps me with color coding and like how I want to do the bag. So I have these beautiful tan hardware. I have in the kit, I got the square pouch, and I got this beautiful wax canvas for the bottom. And I did get a cotton webbing that's blue. So I'm just seeing, and I have leather we're going to sew over. The bulkiest part will be the rear handles that we sold over. I'm going to be using a 1016 needle from Organ Needles. and you may need a hump jumper around then. Taking it slow on that part is going to be extremely important. I'm using 40 weight thread, and I'm hoping it holds out because it's a really pretty green, and I think it goes really well with my fabrics. So we're going to start, you have your cutting list on page 4, and you can see it's not very long, and you're going to get a beautiful bag, and you're going to be so shocked how she made this come together. So we're going to first grab our webbing, and it's a long webbing, and there is a reason for that, because this turns into a backpack within a crossbody. So when you have your webbing, we're going to grab our 2 strap covers, and then our slider. For this project, we're going to need 4 adjustable strap, 4 3/4 of an inch D-rings. We're going to need 1 slider, 1/4 of an inch. I mean 1.5 inches. I can't talk. And 1 inch swivel clasp. So right now we're going to need the 1 inch the swivel clasp and our slider. We're going to take the first slider and we're going to make a mark. We're going to mark, bear with me, I'm sorry, my computer is acting a little bit of a donkey today. We're going to measure up 4 inches, mark down 4 inches from the webbing on one side. I'm sorry, from both short ends. Make sure you have it going the same direction, so I'm just untwisting it and making sure. All right, so on one of these, we are going to slide the tri-glider up and through the bar. And we want for our line to hit that white chalk mark. We're going to bring it over to our sewing machine, and we're going to make a little box. I'm using my compensation foot, and again 10/16 into the inch needle, 40 weight thread, and I'm using a 3.5 stitch length. And when you stop, you want to stop in the needle down. This box doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to get covered. It's just for extra reinforcement. Okay. Trim these excess threads everywhere. Okay. Then we're going to grab our piece and we're going to center the accent piece, and we're going to wrap it around. See, from there, I'm centering it and then wrapping it around. So make sure it's centered. Then I'm going to grab my handy dandy hole puncher, And I'm just going to eyeball the middle. It's 1 inch. But I want to make sure that all my stitches are covered. I'm going to grab a rivet. I'm going to grab 2 males and 2 females. Put the rivet through. Put the cap, and see how it's flush? That's perfect. Bring my river setter over here. Yes, I still haven't put a board. I'm going to have Kendall do it this weekend, hopefully. And set the rivet. So we have 1 strap in, done. And it looks like really nice. So then from there, we're going to take our strap. Make sure it doesn't get twisted. We're going to go over and under the slider. Oops, sorry. Before I do that, I needed to take one of the swivel clasps, feed it through. That's the most important part. Oops, and there goes the rivet. So I'm just trying to make sure that the strap doesn't get all wavy. So after we feed one swivel clasp, we're going to go over and under. And just make sure your strap isn't twisted at all, because if it is, you just need to refeed it. And I think mine's might be. It's a big strap, so I believe it's 72 inches, so you just want to make sure. Okay. Stick it through, thread it through. Okay. And everything's straight on that. We're going to take our swivel clasp, feed it through. Have it lined up to that 4-inch guide we made. And then we're going to sew a box. Make sure you backstitch well. Okay. If you want to, you could make an X, but after making the square and then you're putting a rivet through, your bag is your strap is pretty secure. And I'm trimming the threads. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab another nail rivet because I dropped one. And we're going to center it and wrap around. And you want it to fit like it's wrapped around nice and snug. covering your stitches. Punch a hole. You can measure it out with a rivet ruler because it's 1 inch wide. Or you eyeball it. Dealer's choice. And then we set it. Set pretty nice. Okay, then we put this aside for right now. So we're done with our strap. That was easy peasy, and it was fun and different technique that we did not know. So you're gonna grab one of your 14-inch long strap pieces, and like I said in the beginning, you're gonna punch a hole at a half an inch and a 1 inch on both sides, and then you can leave it perfectly square. It looks amazing that way. There's so many different dies. I have ones that are pointed. I have ones that kind of look like a coffin shape. I just went for the round this time. It's very nice. And then we're going to preparing our lining, we're going to grab our slip pocket. I have my slip pocket right here. We're going to fold in half we're going to fold in half we're going to fold the interior pocket in half, wrong sides together. And hold on. This is going to be 14 by 16. All right, hold on. So, we're going to want to put the pocket trim on here. But I believe it goes up pretty high on the rear lining piece, and mine's has raw exposed edges, but that's okay. With that being done, we can base stitch all the way around, and we're going to put the trim on the raw edge. So let me take you over to the machine and we'll base stitch this close. I'm still at a 3.5. And we have a big seam allowance, so I'm just basting at 1/4 of an inch because our seam allowance is actually pretty big. It's a half an inch. And the reason why you base this is so there's nothing shifting when you're trying to put the top edge, the top trim on there. All right. So I'm going to grab the top end, and the trim should be 1.5 inches. I mean 1 inch by 14. I know I have it. I just was playing with it. I'm using this really pretty canvas. And then I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. Because this is exactly 1 inch, I'm just going to draw a line at the 1/2 inch mark. And if I can get this double-sided tape to come off, okay. All right, I'm going to place double-sided tape that on both edges, so that way when I lay this on top, there's no shifting. If you don't want to use double-sided tape, you can use glue or you can use clips. It all depends on what material you're using. Sometimes I do the trim in waterproof canvas. Sometimes I do the trim in cork. I've used cotton too and like folded it over like bias binding. And then I just roll to make sure that it adheres. And I'm going to take one piece off. I'm going to line the edge to the 1/2 inch line, a little under. And then I'm going to fold it over. And as you're folding it, if your double-sided tape is like mine and you're using like a Dritz wash away and it's not holding, just pop a few clips in it. I have a variety of clips, so don't judge me. I like clips. What can I say? And I'm just popping a few in. And then I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 4 because I'm sewing on leather and I want a longer stitch length. And take your time. And I already went off my stitch. I was trying to ride the foot on the other side and I didn't do very well, so mistakes happen. Let's try this again and hopefully now, you don't have to do this in leather. You could definitely do this in waterproof canvas, wax canvas, cork, craft text. You can do it in cotton if you wish. You would just need to make it fold over like double fold bias. And this all came out really pretty except this one part over here that did not get any stitches. So I'm going to go over it because it's going to... If I plan on sewing this, I want to make it as perfect as possible. Because I won't sew anything if I feel like it doesn't look up to snuff, you know? I won't sell it if I wouldn't wear it. Alright, so we have our lining. I had to interface the heck out of this fabric. You see how much it's fraying? If you, like, luckily this pattern comes together pretty easily. We're doing a little bit of add-on, but yeah, this particular fabric frays heavily. All right, so there are 2 methods you can do: a center divide or a pen ink. She has 2. I'm going to do a center divide because I like having bigger pockets for my cell phone and whatever else. Candy, you know, I mentioned that a lot. So I'm going to grab one of our lining pieces And one of the lining pieces I'm using is waterproof canvas. On my lining pieces, you will see that I drew a T for the top. The 14 size 14 edge is the top. So this pocket needs to come down to 4 inches down. So you're going to grab your handy dandy ruler, and what I like to do is I like to measure it on one side, and then I will put a clip or two. And if it's my pattern, that would help tremendously, Shinova. Normally I use duck cloth and I would just put a couple pins in it, but I did not have duck cloth. I was actually really surprised by that. That's my favorite thing to put in when I make this backpack. So there's water resistant duck cloth as well. I believe Line bags carry some as well, and it is very, very thick, and I just love it. All right, so we have that. So what her suggestion is I'm going to do the 2. So I'm going to go in by 7 inches. And I'm just going to draw a chalk line. Okay. Now, a lot of people, you could put rivets in these. I don't. You could put a washer on the back end. It should be fine. I usually do a bar tack. So what I'm going to do right now is bring you back over, and we're going to sew. We're going to stitch this down using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch, because this can help with reinforcement later. All right, I'm going to go across. And right when I hit that white chalk line, I'm going to bring my needle down. I'm going to go up. And I'm going to sew over this part, the top part once, and then back stitch, back stitch, back stitch until I get onto the canvas. Then I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go over 1, 2, and 1, 2 back, and then get back onto that center line. Go down. Stop. Pivot back, back stitch a couple stitches, and then go forward. Stop at the needle down. Oops, my needle did not like that. And it bent. Okay. Well, in all fairness, I did not put a new needle in, so let's switch that bad boy out real quick. And sometimes when I'm pulling on the thread on this machine, but see, look, it's bent. Don't sew with a bent needle. Let's see. This should be fine. Okay. I noticed this is a new needle. Why does it have, okay, I'm going to put a different needle because this one has like residue. So maybe I was using it for something and then, yeah, no. Okay, let's see. was like, why does that have a DSD on it? Make sure your shaft is going to the right direction. Don't have the screwdriver slamming in the hand. All right, thread your needle. Here we go. So we have our 2 pockets. We bar tack this in, and then we're going to do some cutting. We're going to cut off 1.5 inch in from there and 1.5 inches. We want a 1.5 inch square. And I'm looking for a pin or something, so you can see. And I'm going to do this on the other side. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab the other lining, even though we have not sewed it up yet. And see, my T is on there for top. I'm going to do the 1.5 inch. All right, close my pen, and then just cut these little squares out. And again, I would highly recommend you not to throw these away, because these could be zipper tabs or just little things like little reinforcement tabs. I'm all about trying to save your scraps. I have a really outrageous scrap bin, but I do utilize it a lot. There's going to be some cool Scrap Busters videos coming out soon as well. All right, so I'm going to put this one lining aside for right now, and we're going to work on the other one that's not in the video. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put this, we're going to find the center. And then just double check they have the center right. I did the, so it should be at the 7. I'm just going to finger press that leather in that, and I'm going to put this 4 inches down. And what I'm going to do to keep this in one spot is I'm going to take some double-sided tape, and I'm going to put it in an area that is not going to be sewn on, but it will help keep the position. All right. We're going to take this to the machine. This feels like it's wrong. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's better, I believe. Okay. I'm going to take this machine, and we're going to tops this whole box with using a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now you can pull the threads to the back if you wish, or you can just do a small back stitch. It's your choice. Breathe. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want a bazillion of these pocket things because I think it's so cool. It's a feature I've never seen before. And I'm just like, I'm kind of really feeling it. Okay. We're going to cut this trim. We're going to set up a couple things. We're going to do these credit card slots. I want them kind of above so they're easier to access, but I don't want them to interfere with the zipper pocket. So I just have like my name thing over here and it just like disappeared. There it is. Okay. So I kind of want, I'm not putting a metal tag. I'm just going to put my name in the middle. But I want the card slot to be right here. I love the fact that she has card slots. Like I've never seen this on a bag. I want to have it like positioned 3/4 of an inch up. So I'm putting my ruler there. I'm just going to take some double-sided tape and help me hold down the bottom of this where it doesn't affect the card slots, but it just helps me with no shifting. And I have 3/4 of an inch matched on the bottom of my ruler to help me with positioning these card slots. Now, if you wanted to before I did that, you could have, you know what, we still can do that. I'm going to bring this to the machine real quick. I like top stitching. It's not needed because you're not top stitching anything, but if you want to, go for it. Why not, right? When you stop, take a breath, readjust. Yeah, that took a minute, but there's some cute now different colors stitching. I'm gonna put my 3/4 of an inch lines back on there and then stick the double-sided tape. All right, and then I want to have this cute little name tag. on here. And I'm going to position it about 3/4 of an inch down. All right, so we're going to take you over to the machine and we're going to top stitch these pockets down, and then you readjust this. All right. So we're going to do the pockets, and we're going to go 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to back stitch because this is going to be an area that people are going to stuff their credit cards in. I know I stuff like 2 to 3 in each slot, sometimes 4. 1/8 of an inch. And if, when you stop, try to stop on the needle down position and not struggle like I am. In the first credit card slot, I should have showed you on there is that they each have a line to where credit cards are going to be. There's 3 slots. See, each one of these is a credit card slot. All right, so we're going to go through up to the first one, and I want to just try to draw these lines as accurate as I can. I'm going to go up to the first one. We're going to go back down. I'm smiling. You guys can't see it. I just, the 5550, and it is an industrial, but most people are not aware that this is a industrial that they use for clothes making. I changed out the feed dogs when I'm not making clothes or smaller bags. I put heavier feet in, but there's a lot of people in our sewing community that say, been saying for years, hey, this machine can do it. I know I seen a friend of mine use her Juki QV 2200, and I was like enthralled. The chalk will just wipe off the leather too, in case you're wondering. That's why I think I use it a lot on vinyl too, just wipes off. You could do this part after you sew the pocket in. It's just that somehow, some way, I don't know how I do it, but every time I sew a pocket, like a slip pocket above the zipper pocket, I get the pockets caught up in the stitches. So I've learned to use the slip pocket, do that first, then the zipper pocket. Okay, we're done with that. And then I'm just going to quickly add my name tag, just a couple of stitches. And see, that was just, it's me. It's my needles. I said I was going to clean everything, and I pull my threads way too hard. I know it. They know it. Let's see. I'm going to try maybe a different brand of needle. Maybe it's just the luck of the draw. Getting some needle. But this is like how, this is the truth. Like, I think that a lot of people showing the mistakes is super important to me, because it's real, if that makes sense. Like, it's realistic. Mistakes happen. Let's like not pretend that they don't. Cutting fingers, breaking needles, all that happens. All right. Come on, sewing gods. Make this needle be the one. So I'm changing to a Schmidt versus I had 2 organs in. It could be just the brand sometimes. All right. Rethreaded that. Okay. Move the broken needle. We don't want to sew over that. All right, let's do this. All right, so I'm gonna now sew my name tag again on this side. Okay, this one's even poking better holes, so maybe it was just the brand. Cutting all these threads, and now we're gonna get into still cutting these threads. I try to get all the threads I possibly can, but sometimes I'm really bad at it. We are going to grab a zipper pocket that I think I didn't make. I will be right back. Did I make that? I just swore. Sorry about that. Here I have my pocket, and I'm telling you, have you ever had one of those days where you messed up? Look what I did. I dropped these, and I do my sewing room is in concrete. These are my favorite scissors. I need to call the manufacturer, see if maybe they can weld this back together. Like, come on. But look, it's iridescent even in the inside, so that's pretty cool. Sorry, there's a lot of flub ups today. So the way I work it is that I'm real. I'm human, and I'm going to show you when I make mistakes because I want to show you how I fix them. That's the whole fun part about sewing. There's no such thing as perfect. So we'll do the best that we can and keep it pushing. So we have our pocket on. We want to put now a zipper pocket. In the pattern, there is no zipper pocket. I'm just adding this because she sent this zipper placket and cards as a gift to me, and I wanted to utilize it. The slip pocket is just fine, but why not have something extra in the backpack? So I'm using a size 3 all-purpose zipper that you probably have in your stash. kind of matched with the green decor, and I wanted to use it because I have a lot of these size 3 zippers that I never ever use because I'm all about the continuous yard. So I was like, why not? So I cut off the zippers to stop, and I bar tacked both ends closed so there's no metal showing. I'm going to bend this and cut into the pocket so that way, similar to any other placket, cut into the pocket so we can lay the zipper in there. We're just cutting around like we do any other pocket. It's a slight modification, but when you have this kind of beauty, you want to add this to every single bag. I'm using waterproof canvas for my zipper pocket. I had a little bit left, and this is waterproof canvas, so I was like, why not? I'm going to take off the tape. And if you're saying, oh, that zipper pulls like really small, you can add a piece of cording or like a piece of leather that's really small and tie it around into it. And it can be a really cool accent feature as well. So we're going to lay the zipper on top. I like to put the zipper ends on first before I start really placing anything on there. Okay, that looks really good. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to have it's a continuous, we're not turning from it. I'm going to take the zipper pocket and fold it out. And we're going to sew the bottom row first. And we're going to pull these stitches to the back. Sometimes what I do is I draw like a 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch line on either side. So I have like a starting and stopping method. Let me bring this over to the machine. We're going to start with the bottom first. And we're trying to do about 1/8 of an inch away from the and then we're going to pull the bobbin thread up. Bring the exterior thread. We're going to bring the exterior thread up after. When you tug on the bobbin thread, the loop for the exterior should come right after, and then we're just going to tie it off. And you can do as many as knot or as few as knot that you feel like it's secure with. And we're going to do that again on the other side. And sometimes if I know I'm not going to be turning from the pocket, what I'll do is I'll drop, some glue or take some double-sided tape and definitely make sure that I put it on top of the knots that I just made. And I'll peel off this. This is not the best double-sided tape. And then I just take my pocket and I just kind of press it down. All right. So now we're going to go over to the machine and go up, across, and down using 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to have to do a correction because somehow it has to be just one of those days with me. I messed up and it's okay. I'll show you how I fixed it. I'm going to fix it. First, I'm going to take the tails I already have existing and tie those off. All right, let's get this other one up. Okay, so right through here, I did some mis-stitching. So I'm just going to grab longer tails as soon as I can grab the green thread. And I'm just going to go over the last hole that didn't have a mess up. And then bring it to the end. Get the double-sided tape off me. And cut the threads. And that's bringing them to the back too. And you can milt the ends. You can, snip the areas where you made the knots and just put a little fire to it. Use your fingertips to compress the threads that are melted into like a little, smudge, bloop. I'm blooping, smudging it, or smolder. Okay, I'm going to trim the threads so they're about 3/4 of an inch long versus having longer tails. And you can just okay. This one's not going to do you can milt them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the side pockets and we are going to do it closed like at around 1/4 of an inch. It might be a little bit difficult because you're working against leather. Just take your time. Okay. Just a few threads. I'm lifting up any double-sided tape I had so that way I can make this a little bit easier for me and the machine. Alright, so we're done with the interior pockets. We did add this on. You don't have to do this. You could have been done with after we made this one. So let's put these two aside. We're now going to grab our exterior pieces. We have 1, 2, and then I'm using this beautiful wax canvas to go with it. Now, if you're like, hey, wax canvas is a little bit soft, you can put on, there is sticky canvas that you could put on the back that is, it's like this, like double-sided tape, but the other side is canvas, and that can help thicken it up. They have foam that does that as well. But I kind of like the way it looks with just the wax canvas. So there's 2 sides there. We're going to put it on. We're going to do 2 top rows of stitching. There is another way you can do it, like where it's just placing it directly on. If you're doing it with leather, you could just top stitch. But I am doing it with wax canvas. So we're going to put some clips on, and we're going to use our 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to take the other one and put some clips on as well. And you can wax whatever cotton that you have available too. I can show a class on that, or on how to do that if that's something that you're interested in. I do it a lot with some bags because I just like the way it looks. I also like how dry oil skin looks because less wrinkles. Let's see. So we're going to use the 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, we're going to trim our threads, and we are going to green this forward, give it a nice tug, and we are going to top stitch it at 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to top stitch it again 1/8 of an inch away from the current stitching that we just made. Alright, that's one. We're going to bring this other one over and do the same exact thing. Fold it over, give it a nice tug. You can use a seam roller to roll out to give it that nice crisp iron look. Okay. 1/8 of an inch. And then 1/8 the inch away from the first stop stitching. So 1/4 of an inch. All right. So we have that all squared away. And we're about to use the soft leather and put it on the front exterior piece. This is the soft leather we're going to be using. Isn't it gorgeous? It's so pretty. Okay. So first things we're going to do is we're going to measure 1/4 in and 1/4 of an inch down on just the top pieces. So get a marking tool. And I'm going to put a dot. All right, we're going to punch a hole. Where we drew the dot. All right. Then we're going to do some measurements. We want to do 1 inch above our seam and 3.5 inches in from each side. Okay. It would help if I would have cut that to 7 inches wide. Yeah, sure did it. Okay, hold on. This is actually 8 inches wide, and I need to cut it down to 7 inches wide. So I am going to draw a line. And then I'm going to cut it down to 7 inches wide. Where's my little mat? I usually have like weird tools beside me in case I have to do something. Probably broke something else now. Just taking an X-Acto knife and giving it a clean edge instead of bringing it over to my cutting table, because then I would have to pause the video again. And if I found I usually have like a cutting mat. There it is. I have like a small cutting mat because I use it to punch out my name tags and what have you. I'm just taking it to the 7-inch mark and making sure it all lines up, and then just straightening up that edge. I promise you this bag comes together beautifully. It's me, not the bag. So, with that being said, I'm going to now go and measure another 1/4 of an inch square. And I'm going to baby wipe these tanny leather pins off when we're all done. Okay. Now we can measure it. And get some of this glue off. So We want it 1 inch up. So I'm putting the 1 inch mark right on top of the ruler. And this is 3 1 inches up. 3.5. I was like, it's not measuring 3.5. Before I do any more movement, three and a half. You just want it lined up as best as you possibly can before you tack everything down. We're going to sew 1/8 of an inch. Holy tamales. It's supposed to be 7 inches wide and 6.5 inches tall. Okay. Shinova. I know. That actually makes a lot more sense, but it's okay. So I'm going at the 6.5 inch mark. All right. There should be no more delays. I apologize for that. Okay. We have our holes. It's 7 inches. It's 6.5 inches long and 7 inches wide. Okay. We're going to measure 3.5. I'm going to just do it this way so I can move it a little faster. I apologize for any delays. I really do. And 1 inch above the seam. Ta-da! All right. We're going to move these rulers. Now we're going to stitch it down to 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And the hole marks you punched out shouldn't get stitched on because it's 1/4 of an inch and not 1/8 of an inch. Make sure you back stitch. Take your time. And we're going to pivot. And I ran out of bobbin. What? What? Shinova. And it's Friday. As long as it's not Friday the 13th, I'm going to be okay. Because, woo! Alright. I'm going to grab another bobbin. And I missed a spot too. Okay, we got this. We're going to fix this. Everything's going to be a-okay. This bag's going to be bomb. Okay, we're going to go into the stitch that the bobbin decided we're not going to win bobbin chicken. It's my fault. I should have looked before I top stitch, to be honest with you. And we're going to go a couple stitches forward and then just do a stitch or two back, and it'll lock in the previous stitches. And I'm just trying to go over the same exact holes I made when I did not know my bobbin thread was not working. Right, and I'm going to trim these threads, and then I'm just going to flip this over real quick and go back to this one little area that I missed a couple stitches. Again, I'm going to go back to a previous stitch, stitch forward, stitch back, and just fix it. It'll look seamless. See? It looks really good, actually. Really, really, really good. And trimming threads. Okay. So we have this really pretty, very pretty, pocket right here. It would be nice if you have like leather punches that you could do initials or somebody, make it really personable for someone. That would be super charming and really cute. So what we're going to do, we're going to go on to page 9, and we are going to create the same boxes, the 1.5 inch boxes, 1.5 inches. I'm going to go grab a pen so you can see. I'm just using a Tandy leather pen. And we're going to grab our other one. And we're going to be starting assembling this bag. Like, the main parts are pretty much over. We just need to assemble the back straps. And then we're going to start putting together this bag. And that's, if you don't do the slip pocket, I mean, not the zipper pocket, this bag comes together like 2 hours. There's not a lot to cut, and it could be a lot of fun. And again, you don't have to use any leather. You can use wax canvas. You can use cork. I made a really fun one in cork. You can use cork, vinyl, whatever is easier for you. This bag doesn't require any interfacing unless you're using cotton. You gotta love that. It has a real fresh and real clean, sophisticated look. And again, whenever I have an amber at any convention, it always sells the first day. Like, if I have 3, all 3 will be gone. All right. So we did that. We're going to now, after we cut that, we're going to grab our back strap, our back. We're going to be we did this top stitching. Now we're going to measure on the rear exterior bottom, this piece. We're going to measure 3/4 of an inch down with 3 inches over. So 3 inches over and 3/4 of an inch down. I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to get a different color so you guys can see. So 3 inches in, 3/4 of an inch down. Mark. And then our next mark is 3 inches in and 2 1/4 of an inch down. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. 3 inches in and 3/4 of an inch down. And then we're going to go 3 inches in and 2 1/4 of an inch down. All right, that's both 3. Just making sure because that dot looks a little off, and I just want to make sure before I punch a hole. It's dead on. Okay, so we have these 2 holes. What we're going to do now is we did the rear 2 1/4 inch down, and then we're going to punch holes on all 4 marks. And take whatever excess thread I keep getting on me out. And I'm just kind of sprinkling it up. One thing about waterproof wax canvas, the more it wrinkles, the the more rustic it looks, more lived in, and I don't know, I really like the way it looks. I have this corduroy one that I've been dying to use on something. Alright, so we punched all 4 holes, and then we're going to now draw a line that's 2 inches down from the exterior. So I'm going to go grab my white Choco pen and draw 2 inches down. All right, we are going to find our middle. I'm just finger pressing it, putting a line so I know, and we're going to grab our piece for our D-ring. And we are going to baste it right on the line. Sorry, I have all these rulers and everything around me. So bring it over here. And we're just going to machine baste it. And we're trimming their threads. All right. Then we're going to go on to page, I believe it's page 10. We're going to grab the handles that don't have any punch out on them, and we're going to make have them go make a line. I'm going to make a line 4.5 inch over. I just had the chalk pen. Okay, there it is. Making 4.5 inch over. Just gonna make a little line and doing the same thing over here. Trying to make sure you can use double-sided tape to put it in. This area is going to be really thick when we sew, so I want to help it out as much as I can. So we're going to go inside the lining of where we had the 4.5 inches, and we are going to baste these in place too. Take your time. I hear people like, what machine you use a leather needle when you're using leather, because it's a special hole for leather versus a Microtex. Sometimes getting the right needle is super important for any kind of project. And I'm trimming the threads. Okay, and we are going to want to go 1.5 inches down. Oops. We're going to want to go 1.5 inches down. So I'm just sticking my ruler underneath the handles and lining it up to 1.5 inches. And we're going to be placing this mark. So I'm going to put double-sided tape in the center of my piece where we're not sewing. So that way it won't like get gummed up, an extra deterrent. So I'm going to, where it's 1.5 inches, I'm going to start pressing down. I'm using a cheap Westcott ruler. This one particular, it goes to be 17, so I can easily mark it. We're going to do 2 rows of stitching. We're going to do 1/8 of an inch, then 1/4. 1/8 of an inch, then 1/4. I always say brace yourself. Get the heavier side done first so you're not stressing. Use a hump jumper if you need it. And so again, someone gave a really cool tool idea. If you don't have hump jumper, you can use your needle box. That's heavy. Take your time. You got this. I know it sounds horrible, but you're punching through leather, so it's not going to sound like dainty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to go down 1/8 of an inch down here. And when I go up on the other side, it'll be for the 1/4. Okay, and then I'm just going to go up, and then I'm going to do the 1/4. It's okay. You already did this once, you're just doing it again. Okay, we're going to do this one more time at 1/4 of an inch over here. You did it! You did the hardest part. You did the absolutely hardest part. Congratulations. That is the most bulkiest part you're going to go through. Alright, so we're going to put a rivet in the center right here. Don't punch a hole into your stitches, because then it was all for naught. And we're going to grab a couple of grab a rivet. You could put rivets also on this side of the strap, but the reason why there's a rivet on this is this turns into the backpack. And see how there's a larger head that's poking out? This is what the washers are for. Where did I have to find them? I just had them. Oh, there you are. Thank you. All right, so let's get these washers out and show you what we're working with. So we put this washer on, and then we put our cap. And it fits perfectly. You want to make sure your rivet's setting right. And it's nice. You hear that click. I'm going to leave my rivet press here because we're about to put the back straps in. We're going to grab 2 of our 3/4 of our rings. I'm going to grab 4 male heads and 4 female caps. All right, so we have that. We're going to put our male rivets in. Then you're going to slide in one of your 3/4 of a ring. And you're going to grab another male. and slide it, put it through the hole. So we're going to flip this over like a pancake. You're like, Nova, this is just waterproof canvas. It's going to rip right through. Not if you use washers, or you can use another piece of leather to go right over it. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on this side, and we're going to set all the rivets at once. This bag is coming together. It's going to be cute. I'm kind of excited. And then we're going to set all the rivets. Okay, so we have our back done. Isn't that cute? We have our little rivets, and we have our leather pieces. Everything's looking really fallish. Let's get this bad boy done. So we're going to attach the zipper. So she has the zippers where you fold them you fold them and you stitch them down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to emulate her fold, and I'm going to pop a pin in each one, and then we're going to bring it to the sewing machine to stitch it down. That's a dull pin. You can hand sew these. Whatever your preference is, and you can fold them the way you feel fit too. There's an alternative way where you can have ends on it if you're using like continuous yarn. She does give directions on that in the book and then in her pattern, so that was incredibly sweet. I'm going to now just sew the ends in place and not hit the needle. And then I'm going to bring this one over on this side. Just bring the threads over, and I'm going to cut all the threads at once. Making a nice tangle web and doing it on this side. And it just helps finish off the zipper. This is a metal zipper too, so if you've been trying to, like, you know, I want to sew with some metal zippers, there's, like, you know, cute companies that have really nice ones. This is an excellent bag for that too. You get to sample off leather, cork, wax canvas, sewing on your domestic machine with it, and then on top of it, working with the metal zipper, which adds another level of, you know, organic sophistication to your bag. Yeah, I just said that. All right, so we are going to want about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch of space in between the zipper. So what I suggest you to do is what I'm doing. I'm going to kind of just like draw 3/4 of an inch and see if the zipper lies in between that. Or you can find your centers. Always find your centers is always like the best key. But sometimes like knowing exactly where it fits exactly a 3/4 of an inch. That is crazy. Having that exact marks can help tremendously as well. So we're going to do right sides together. And I want the zipper to close to the left, so I'm having the zipper up there. I'm going to pop some clips into my zipper. Bring it over here to the machine. You're ready to go. We're gonna sew. We're gonna do a 1/8 of an inch basting stitch, and then we're gonna do our normal stitch. Okay, then we're going to put the lining in on. And since this is the front pocket, I'm going to get the one with the slip pocket. And we're going to lie that on top of each other. And then we're going to sew with the 1/4 of an inch seam allowance through all the layers. So you should be seeing the wrong side of your lining. Now, when you get to the zipper, because this is a smaller zipper, you might want to move the zipper out of the way so you can have consistent stitching. And then stop with the needle down and then pull the zipper back. All right. Okay. And then we're going to open up the zipper, and you're kind of going to have to tug it because it does start. I would just like crease it so that the seam knows which way it's going. You can then just seam rolling it. You're going to open up the pocket, and you're going to top stitch only on the exterior, not the lining. Make sure the seam allowance is going underneath. So like I keep filling for it and to make sure it doesn't roll up in the lining. And I'm just constantly checking that seam. Okay, we have one done. And we're going to repeat that same process on the other side. So you can just go ahead if you want to draw the 3/4 of an inch, so that way it's like in your head and you're like, yeah, this is where I place my zippers. It's 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch. Getting a little bit bigger, so just bear with it. And what I'm doing is I'm going to clip the zipper exactly at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to kind of pull my handle down and flip my D-ring down. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because you got to get squishy with it, but it's worth it. Trust me on that. It's definitely worth it. So we're going to baste this down, and basting is really important in this step because it helps control all these layers, because things are going to want to move. You have a handle in its way, things are going to want to shift because there's bulk now. So make sure raw edges are touching raw edges. Okay. We're going to grab the lining. And we're going to do some clips to help with the shifting. We're going to sew this at 1/4 of an inch like we did on the other side. And when we get to that zipper, we're going to go needle down so we can move it. Back stitch in the beginning and end. I'm going to stop and I'm going to go through the layers and open up the zipper. It's a smaller zipper than the size 5, so it wants to struggle with you a bit. All right. we're going to do the same thing. We're going to open this up. You're going to tug it down, start like kind of finger pressing so that seam wants to stay in that area. Then we're going to pull the lining out of the way, and we're just going to top stitch the exterior and the seam. And we're going to get really smushy with it. There's just a lot of fabric going a lot of ways, and just be patient with it. Breathe, and you're going to be okay. I know you have a lot going on. You have a handle. Oh, this is such a cute bag. Oh, I love it already. So I'm going to lay these flat, and we're going to move on to the next steps. Mine is cutting like a bazillion threads. Okay. Now we're going to, we put those in, we're going to start making sure they're smooth, there's no buckles. We're going to start making some marks to punch some holes. And I know this sounds scary, okay? You're like, wait, we're almost done. Why are we doing this? There's a reason. There's always a reason. Okay, I'm trying to see a pen that you guys can see through the fabric as I'm making it. Maybe this yellow will work. Okay. So on page 14, we got some measurements. We're gonna make a mark 1 3/4 down and 1 3/4 over. And we're doing this on the front panel. So make sure all the pieces are lined up together. So, and we're going from each front panel from the seam. So 1 3/4 over. I'm drawing that. No, you can't see that. Okay. I'm going to have to probably use my chalk pen because oh, that's really light too. Okay, you have to just bear with me because I'm trying to see what pen I can use, but because this fabric is so dark, I don't know if the Tandy pen will show up. I don't think it will. Okay, so I'm going to try to use the chalk pen and make it as prominent as I possibly can. So 1 3/4 over and 1 3/4 down. I'm trying to make a little bit of an X so you can see. And I just always measure twice, cut once kind of scenario. Okay, and then we're going to do that on the other side too. And you want everything to lay as flat as possible because we're going to be punching holes through both layers. So if you want, you could pop a couple clips on the bottom to make sure that everything stays aligned. That's one way to ensure. And there goes my chalk pen. Hold on one second. Let's see. I am really struggling to try to find a pen that you guys can see with. But that's the bad thing about dark pens, dark material. So we're doing it on this side too. And it's going to be 1 3/4 down from the seam and over. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're doing the same thing over here. And you're going from your seam. All right. And then we're going to go to the front and we're going to make a couple of marks there too. I'm going to clip the bottom of this too, so that way everything stays aligned as much as possible. Okay, and for the front of the bag, we're going to make a mark 3/4 of an inch down, well, 5 inches over. So we're going to go 5 inches over from the top and 3/4 of an inch down. And we're also going to go five inches over and 1 1/4 inches down. A lot of measurement, and it will all come full circle in just a moment. So on the other side, we're going to go 5 inches over, 3 4/4 inches down. And then 1 1/4 of an inch down, 5 inches over. Okay. And then on the back, we're going to go a 1/2 inch up on each strap. And just draw a dot. Okay. We're going to pierce through the handle. We're going to pierce through all the holes that we punch. And I know this is scary, but it's going to be okay, I promise. So I'm going to punch through the lining and the main all the holes. So I'm doing the side ones first. That's why I'm telling you to clip your linings to make sure they're all on they're all even. It's kind of the reason why I want waterproof canvas too, because whenever I do this with cotton or duck cloth, I do need to, I definitely need to add some fray check so that way nothing frays on top of it. Just punch these holes. So I'm almost done with all the ones on the sides. And then I'm going to open up my zipper and then go in the front, and I'm going to punch the 3/4 of an inch and the 1 1/4 of an inch. I know it's scary, but when you see it come together, you're going to be like, Joy's a genius. I'm buying all her patterns. And I'm going to be like, I understand. I really want to make the Gabby necks because that's a good seller for me too. Okay, so I'm going to punch a hole through that. And while I'm doing this, my fingers are underneath trying to make sure that nothing's wrinkling up. All right. So we punched all the holes. We marked, we did not set any rivets yet. We're going to do that at the very last step. Do not put any rivets in yet. I know you're like, yeah, we punched the holes. Let's do it. Not yet, my friends. We're going to make the bag. We're going to put exterior to exterior, lining to lining. And we're going to clip it. I try to make sure that all the side pieces match up. That's the most important to me so that it doesn't look off. Okay, you're going to have a little bit of bulk, not as much as we've been sewing through, just a tiny bit. Have the zipper open because we're going to pull this bag together through the bottom of the bag, the bottom of the lining. We're going to sew about 2 inches in the lining so we can box off the corners, but the bag should be turned easily through it. So we are going to use our 1/2 inch seam allowance, leaving a 6-inch gap on the bottom. I'm pretty sure my dog doesn't come. I swear to you, I think he knows when I'm almost done with the bag and he just like comes down. All right, so we're leaving a 6-inch hole. You can mark it if you wish, or you can eyeball it like I'm doing. It's your preference. And I'm going to do about 2 inches into here, 1/2 inch lining, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Back stitch well in the beginning and end because that's where we're going to birth it. And then I'm just going to drop my water bottle. I'm just going to kind of squish this over. Yeah, I hate trimming a lot of threads, and this helps. And drop my phone and my tablet. Let me put you guys right here. Let's see. And if you stop, don't do what I do. Stop with the needle down. I'm closing all the seams. And I try to just do a 1 or 2 back stitches over like the leather trim. See, not that bad. Squish the bag over. I'm just trying to make sure that this doesn't get all crinkle above and below the needle. Okay. Oh, I didn't do the 2 inches on this side. Hello, Shinova. Okay. We are going to then finish this bag by boxing its corners. So I'm sticking my hand through the bag because the zipper's open, and I'm just kind of squaring off this area. I'm going to open up the seams, and I'm going to then clip it. Doing the same side on this, opening it. And I am clipping it. Doing the same thing on these lining pieces. Opening up the seams, and clipping it. And my bag's making all kind of weird noises. Let's see. The same thing over here. Okay, so then I'm going to bring this over to the machine and sew this at a 1/2 inch to all the seams. Trying to get all these rogue threads that are like everywhere out of the way. And I'm going to trim down these seams so the corners poke out nicely. Okay. Alright, so I have my bag and we're going to turn the bag out. But before I do that, I always have a tendency to want to clip in to this area because it has a lot of bulk and it can make your area that when you try to poke it out look a little bit more bulky than it needs to be. So I just trim as much as possible on this little corner area without trimming in the stitches on both sides. Alright, so then I'm going to put my hand through the bag, grab one of the corners, and just start pulling the bag through. Oops, don't break a stitch. You can go through a blow dryer and put it on, and it'll help soften up the waterproof canvas if you're using it. And you see that the holes that I punched are through the lining, so that's good. I'm going to grab the lining, tug it away from the exterior, and I'm going to stick my hands through the lining and just mold out this bottom using my fingers and getting into the corners to help poke them out. You can use like a chopstick or a bone folding tool, whatever you have available to help get those corners nice and crisp. As long as it's not, sharp, then it was all for naught. All right. And while we're here, because I can see everything lines up, I'm going to poke out the corners to my waterproof canvas. And then I'm going to close it up. How I close it up is I pull on its mouth. That's what it looks like to me. It's like a mouth. And then I just start clipping. And this is, if your threads match your interior, this is definitely the time to have it match, because it'll look invisible. If it doesn't, it'll just show a little bit of stitching. It's not too bad. Mine's is green, so I'm just going to go with it. And again, if you wanted to, you could have did that whole pulling out your pocket and sewing it off, but I don't know. When I do these kind of bags, I just like to do it the way the designer has it, so that way, I don't know, it could just it's weird. I like to do it different things different times. And also, because again, if you're doing this with wax canvas, the more you move wax canvas, the more crinkles it gets. So trim those threads really well. And then I'm going to stuff the lining into the bag as gracefully as I can be. And fair warning, I'm just not graceful. I'm just gonna jam it in. Oh, this is so cute. So I'm just going to grab my chopstick and I'm just going to push through any edges that are trying to pucker on itself. This is so cute though. All right, so now we're going to start putting handles and everything in. And all right. So once we put all that, we're going to start putting the side connectors on first. And I'm just trying to push through this last bit of bulk I seen on the side. All right. We're going to put the side connectors on, and I'm going to have some washers. I don't need that many, but you get the gist. And grab some rivets. And grab some washers and some rivets, and I'm going to grab the handle and the 2 rivet pieces and our D-rings. So I'm going to take a mel and put it through the side, and I'm going to go out the holes that I punch, and I'm going to take a washer, put it on, take a cap, put it on, slide my D-ring in, and go to the other side that we made the same markings, put the mel through, have the female come through, have the male come through the holes that you poked. And it could be hard to navigate it, but you got this. You poke the holes out. And Loki's going to make an appearance. Yes, Pop-Up, I see you. Who's the most handsome bully puppy in the world? You are. Doesn't matter who you smarties. I know. I'll be up in just 1 minute. We're almost done, Pop-Ups. I know. Okay, go upstairs, Pop-Up, and I will be downstairs in just a minute. You don't believe me? I speak Loki. That's Roxy. Go get Roxy. I know. Sir. So we're going to do the... You know what? I'm going to have to poke... I'm going to have to poke holes in here because I forgot to... on that. So let me let him go outside and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. My puppy He speaks Lokiisms. So we're going to now put the handle on because we attached our D-rings. I went ahead and punched holes right here in these two pockets through the bag too. Added washers, and I set them so that they'll be good. That's one thing I really, really, really love about this bag is that Joy made it. I'm getting some cats, sorry. Joy made it so that way I'm trying to just measure how many more I need. I'm so sorry. I get caught. You know how you get caught when you're looking into something and you're just like, okay, wait, hold on. How many do I need? Joy made it so that you can punch through all the layers and then add a washer so there's stability without having to compromise your sewing machine, and I think it's great. So you're gonna poke the hole. You're gonna go through the holes that you poked. My hole puncher like hates going through waterproof canvas. It is the funniest thing. So when I'm in here, I'm trying to hold down the strap. When I'm in here, I'm going to stick the washer on and put the cap. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to feed. You can feed it through the lining too. You want. There's no right or wrong answer. You feed it. Oh, it would help if I would have put a washer on that. Put a washer through it. Feed it. That's why I always think I thread it from the front so that way I don't have to worry about. I know I'm going to have to put a washer on it in the back. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Going to feed it through. And then we're going to put a cap on it. And we're going to do the same thing again. And then we're going to put a cap on that. And then I'm going to set the rivets. Usually, I feel like a 2-push click, and I know it's set. If I don't feel a click, that kind of concerns me, and I try to then see if the rivet comes off or what's going on. Okay. I'm going to grab 2 more rivets because we need to set the back. I really need my daughter to organize. Hope is really good at organizing stuff. So I'm like, maybe I should just have Hope organize my rivets for me. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to thread our male portions through and flip it. flip it through, have the head come out, and put a cap. And then we're going to set these. All right. All right, so I'm going to bring you to the front. Open this up, pop out the corners a little bit better because I just smushed the heck out of them. Okay, I'm going to just poke out the corners a little bit more. I'm going to grab our strap, and then I'm going to show off our beautiful bag. All right, so we just got done making the amber crossbody or cross convertible bag. We have a slip pocket in the front. We have leather handle features, leather accent. We have a metal zipper. When we open it up, normally you just have this luscious, nice slip pocket where you can make it either 2 slip pockets or you can make 2 slip pockets and a pin. And then we added this really lovely zipper placket that has credit card slides that we could put in. We close our zip. And then we have a leather accent piece and our 2 leather connectors on the bottom. And when you want to not wear this as a crossbody, all you need to do is clip it on one angle. As soon as I can get this strap to cooperate with me, you clip it to the bottom. You feed it through the top. You clip it on the other part of the bottom. And you have a backpack. So this bag is super fun to make. You can use a multitude of different prints. I have a cotton canvas interface with Decouville light, and then I have I have wax canvas on the bottom. That's water resistance. We have beautiful blue and tan leather accent features. We decided to make the green stitching an accent feature. We have a metal zip. We have everything in here. Our pocket has leather trim. This is a classy bag and it's fun, and I can see people giving it away as gifts for the holidays. I can see people selling these at craft shows or putting them up in contests for like events. This is a beautiful bag. It's fun to make. All the pieces you can cut out. There's no pattern pieces. You can, if you just have a ruler that can go 14 and 10 inches square, you're good to go. If not, the measurements are pretty consistent throughout the pattern, and you can add and deduct what you don't want. I mean, I think it's pretty awesome, especially if you're trying to get into the leather making world. This is your introduction. So what we have just made is the amber crossbody, convertible crossbody. If you want me to make any more of Joy's fantastic patterns, go over to our website. I'll have the link information below and look at them and ask. I personally also love the Gabby. The Gabby is a huge seller for me, and I have made it in cotton. I have made it in wax canvas. I made it in so many cork. It is a fun bag, and it's a perfect overnight bag, baby bag. Oh, we're going away for the weekend bag. I'm traveling and I just need this, and it turns into a crossbody or a backpack as well. So it's awesome. You can purchase, if you want to purchase a pre-made kit that Joy cuts out the majority of the leather pieces and everything for you, her kit information is also underneath there. You can look under Amber Kit. If something's sold out, please just reach out to her. She's very accommodating and very nice. So she will try to figure out what she can do best for you. I had a lot of fun making this. It's very fall. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything, just leave a comment down below. If you can like and subscribe to this channel, it means the absolute most. I know a lot of people, they don't think that YouTubers look at their analytics, and I do. 48% people that watch me are not subscribed. If you subscribe, it helps me in the algorithm and helps me out tremendously. And I would really appreciate it. If you want to help out and give back to the community, I have a Ko-fi where I'm trying to get a little bit more lighting in the room and possibly better cameras. Raising up money for that, so you can contribute to that. I'll put that link down below. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you think this bag is worthy. And if you do make this bag, hashtag me or use my handle at YouTube at That's So Nova, and I will see it. I definitely want to see you, and I will put Joy's Facebook group where you can share your makes as well. Until the next time I see you, I hope everybody stays safe, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and happy sewing. Bye.